Time for our panel of the day. Simon Wilson, Senior Journalist at the Herald, alongside Deborah Pead, Pead PR founder. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you both. Let's start with we spoke earlier in the show about the Crown Minerals Act. So, Labor brings in the oil and gas ban. Ironically, alongside New Zealand First, is now desperate to backpedal and undo the ban. Big question is whether it's actually going to have much of an effect on the electricity market, in particular the power sector, is one of the reasons the government says we need it. But, is it kind of too little too late at this point?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like the reversal of this ban not only puts us between a rock and a hard place, but it feels like we're driving into the future with last century's fuel in the car. It's, and I feel like there should be more investment in new tech and sustainable, but I also understand the need for affordable and safe supply. I can't be the only person that reaches for tranquilizers every time I turn on the heater. We need to do something to provide power more affordable and longevity of the supply, and that's an issue right now.
Yes, we do, but of course there are already consented wind farms in this country that are not being built because it is not in the economic interest of the power companies who have those consents to build them. So we need reform in the electricity industry that means that those things become more viable. Wind is by some enormous distance the cheapest form of power on the planet now, and we have lots of it. So the idea that exploring for more oil and gas, which is speculative, and there's no real certainty, nobody in the industry is saying we know we're going to find it, and even if they do, it will take years and years to come on stream. The idea that that's going to solve our crisis now is really nonsense. We have alternatives and we need to be using them.
But at the same time, we need to provide some security to businesses who need that power supply right now. So it's a balance between that transition and the economy.
So the government has already announced measures to make it easier for residential solar and also for rural solar in farms. But those things are not supercharged, and they could be. So it could be possible to very quickly develop an industry in this country, manufacturing, supplying, and using solar energy, which would happen far more quickly than the speculative oil and gas generation. And would also, of course, future-proof us.
I appreciate that, but we need a security in our transition plan right now. I personally know of businesses that will shut down their operations if they can't get a secure supply. And that will mean the loss of hundreds of jobs, hundreds of engineers leaving the country. So we need some security.
It's absolutely shocking. So those manufacturers who closed, particularly the sawmills and so on that closed in the last winter, they could have been assisted to develop alternate forms of energy on the spot. And it could have happened and they could have kept going. But the government doesn't look at it like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of tension in this topic.
Well, no, but I was fascinated just listening to you both, because this is both sides.
Keep going.
Well,
We could.
The problem is, though, you run out. I mean, it only rains so much. It only blows so much and only at the right time. So you need something, a stopgap.
Which New Zealand are you living in? It blows a lot in this country.
Yeah, and it rains a lot.
It rains a lot, but it doesn't rain at the right times, right? Which is why the lakes get empty.